I want to kind of clarify and kind of take a step back on the mechanics of how this works out. I've been comparing it a lot to a library, of comparing genes to books. The A's, T's, C's, and G's of the code are written out like letters. The actual aspect of DNA methylation, turning off and on genes, certain books being expressed at earlier points of our life, those genes then switching off, being closed up and no longer useful for us in that respect, or they can persist into our adulthood like lactase, being able to digest lactose and being able to consume milk and utilize that sugar for ourselves. But I kind of want to step away from that just for a second and let go of this metaphor, because a lot of science and using metaphors conveys misconceptions. What happens is that we oversimplify in education. We kind of lie all the time because it's not that simple. And once we think it's that simple, we have it figured out, trust me, it's going to actually get more complicated. That's just kind of the nature of things. Once we think we have it figured out, boom, we're hit with something else. That's kind of the aspect of epigenetics. When we first started, and I remember this, looking at trying to make sure that the code of DNA through the Human Genome Project was all taken care of, we thought we would have it figured out. We thought we would know everything there was about every disease, how the body developed, and all that kind of stuff. And then we found out that the epigenetics above the genome was really what switched genes on and off and turned everything on its head. We thought that it was just a library and the books would tell us everything. The problem is that I read these books in different orders, and the way that I've read those books has influenced the way that I've developed as a person. And that's kind of the same way with the genes. When we turn them on and off at different points in time to control our body, to turn on a protein, to let it be delivered, to be able to let it do its functional units of interacting with other things, digestion, transmitting information, being able to turn off and on things, all of that stuff that's really going on inside of us has to do with the simple fact that this simple mechanism of DNA being a library is not all there is. It's the order that you read the books. It's which books you have open at the same time. It's how many of them you have on, how much you're reading at that point in time, how long, what, all of these different complicated areas. It's about timing. It's honestly about the timing of the different genes. And I think that this actually stopped. It stopped flowing. We stopped time. Hey, here we go. I will leave it at that point in time right now for us. And I'll stop making time jokes because it's just ridiculous.